Welcome, everyone, to the Everything Show. I am your host, Matrix Lord 212, and I am with Scott. What's up, Scott?
Hello.
What's up, Chris?
I have been waiting to talk about this for so long, and I'm so happy we're finally doing it.
Yes, me too. Me too. So, let's talk about Godzilla vs. Kong.
Oh, we finally got the trailer, and I couldn't be happier, honestly. And I want to say this, because I don't know if you guys have seen this, anybody watching it, but this trailer is now, I believe, the fourth most liked trailer on YouTube.
Damn.
Wow.
It's up there. It's beaten a whole bunch of really popular movies. It's hit the mainstream. I mean, it was trending for like 3 or 4 days.
Yeah.
It hit all of these major mainstream news outlets. So this is now in the public eye. Like this has gone beyond.
This is the main thing of movies right now.
Yeah.
The main, like WandaVision TV series, everybody's talking about WandaVision. With the movies, they're talking about Godzilla vs. Kong.
Yeah, I mean, this has reached heights that the other 3 Monsterverse films have not yet reached. Now,
Right.
whether that translates into it being successful is another story. We'll have to wait and see. I do want to let everybody know that the release date was changed from March 26th to March 31st.
Yes.
Allegedly, that was for 2 reasons. One official reason they said was that they wanted it to come out for the Easter weekend to have a bigger opening for anybody who decides to go see it in the theaters, because this is a hybrid release with HBO Max and theaters. And also an unofficial reason was because the Snyder Cut is coming out on March 18th. And from what I've heard,
the Snyder was coming out, but I forgot which week it was coming out.
Yeah, from what I've heard, take this with a grain of salt, but they are allegedly, there have been talks and backstage at Warner Brothers saying that had Godzilla vs. Kong stood where it was, it may have completely overshadowed the Snyder Cut.
Right.
So they moved it. Now that's unofficial. Again, take that with a grain of salt, but that's what I've heard.
Yeah.
So the trailer itself was really good. It's not my favorite Monsterverse trailer, but it's definitely up there.
Yeah.
So some of the stuff that's going on in that trailer. One thing that I've seen a lot of people saying, like, oh, Godzilla has turned heel. He's the villain. He's not the villain.
Right.
If you look at the very beginning of the trailer, you clearly see Mechagodzilla.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what we discussed
It's
earlier.
So I thought that right away. Yeah.
It's not even debatable at this point. Anybody who was saying, because there were a lot of people who were like, no.
They have no idea.
He's not.
Right.
He's in the movie. Now, the big thing that a lot of people have been talking about is the Godzilla we're seeing attacking what are called Apex facilities, is that really Godzilla, or is that Mechagodzilla disguised as Godzilla?
Right.
Like, for those of you who remember the very first Mechagodzilla film, Mechagodzilla was disguised as Godzilla, and he did the exact same thing. He attacked cities, he killed Anguirus, and they were like, "What is going on?"
Right.
It was only
favorite movie of all time.
Right. It was only until the real Godzilla showed up and confronted this imposter that Mechagodzilla was revealed.
Right. You had the little shiny part, and then that was it. The dupe was, the thing was over. Right.
So here's what I think is going on. I don't believe that that's Mechagodzilla. I believe that that is the genuine Godzilla, and the reason that he is attacking these Apex facilities, again, I guess I should explain that. Apex is a counter organization to Monarch in this movie.
Okay.
Their sole purpose, allegedly, is that they are not happy with the idea of humans and Titans living in harmony.
Right.
They believe that the Titans should be killed so that humanity can be the apex of the earth once again.
Right.
So, allegedly, again, take this with a grain of salt. This may be somewhat of a spoiler, but this seems to be the way that this is going. At the end of Godzilla King of the Monsters, the last severed head of King Ghidorah was purchased by Alan Jonah.
Right.
Allegedly, what has happened now is that at some point between that scene in King of the Monsters and Godzilla vs. Kong, Apex has come into possession of this severed head from King Ghidorah.
Okay.
And what they're doing is they've siphoned parts of it off, specifically the brain the skin, parts of the bone marrow, and they're studying each part at a different apex facility.
Okay.
Oh,
What I believe is happening is
seeing it.
Godzilla senses these different
Mhm.
parts, and he's attacking these apex
Right.
facilities to
To
destroy
destroy
the
those parts.
Right. Now,
Right.
why is he doing that if Ghidorah's head is basically dead? If you funnel enough energy into King Ghidorah, he can regenerate.
Yep.
Right.
I was wondering when that was going to come up. Yep.
Right. So he's trying to stop this, not because he's afraid of Ghidorah, because he's already beaten him, but because he does not want the Earth to be unbalanced again.
Yes.
That's basically what's going on. However, the main apex facility, which may be in Hong Kong, which we see Godzilla in Hong Kong, and the final battle of this movie that we see in the trailer takes place in Hong Kong.
Mhm.
The final apex facility has not a part of Ghidorah, they have Ghidorah's brain.
Right.
And allegedly what happens is they put the brain in Mechagodzilla as a way to power it. But because Mechagodzilla has an internal power source, Ghidorah's brain starts to siphon energy off of the power source, and Mechagodzilla goes berserk.
Okay.
What I've also heard is that they've incorporated parts from the female Muto from Godzilla 2014 into Mechagodzilla so that it can create the EMP pulse that nullifies Godzilla's atomic breath.
Wow.
So
now,
that's
here's the thing: are they gonna make it where we can't, like, where I understand it, you understand it, but
Yeah.
are they gonna make it confusing where people are not gonna be able to figure this out?
no. I think that they're going to say right from the beginning that parts of Ghidorah are in Mechagodzilla.
Okay.
And it's going to
Because
be pretty easy.
what
So where does
Joe was
Kong
also
fall
commenting
into
about
this
was that Kong even had one of these axes to.
So okay,
Yeah,
so
that's
that
another thing.
Okay, so-
yeah, go ahead.
I'll explain that because that was confirmed with one of the toys that came out.
Yes.
So what's happening with Kong is this. Kong is the only Titan who, other than Godzilla and Mothra, and one other Titan called Leviathan, which we never saw, but when Ghidorah defeated Godzilla in the Isle de Mara in Godzilla King of the Monsters, after Godzilla got hit with the Oxygen Destroyer,
Mhm.
Ghidorah became the King of the Monsters. And he did an alpha call that woke up all the Titans, and he basically told them, destroy human civilization. Kong was on Skull Island when and this is in the novel. This is in the King of the Monsters novel.
Okay.
Kong was on Skull Island when this happened. He heard Ghidorah's alpha call, but Kong was like, nah, forget it.
I'm not doing
right?
that. Right.
Everything else on Skull Island, including the Skull Crawlers, all submitted to Ghidorah.
Except for King Kong.
Except for
Or
Kong.
Kong.
And they started attacking Kong. Kong was like, what the hell is going on?
Right.
When Godzilla killed Ghidorah at the end of King of the Monsters, he became the King of Monsters again. He did an alpha call that said, stand down.
Right.
All the Titans, including the Titans on Skull Island.
And
Kong
Kong,
heard
too.
that too, and he was like, what the hell is going on out there?
Right. Like,
But he
who are
didn't
you?
really care. Right.
Well, who the fuck?
So
right.
this is what I think is going on with, and Scott's having issues there, but
I know.
this is what I think is going on with Kong. Godzilla's attacking these Apex facilities, and Apex is going out there going, look, he's destroying everything.
Right.
At any moment, he could do an alpha call to the Titans and have them destroy us all.
Right.
So Monarch goes, okay, who's the only Titan who's not submitted to him?
Kong.
Exactly. So they take Kong off Skull Island.
Right.
Because what they find out is a big part of this movie is Monarch going into the Hollow Earth.
Right.
Or the hollowed out portion of the crust.
Right.
Where there's apparently a whole ecosystem of Titans.
Right. Just
And
Titans.
they allegedly discover that Kong and Godzilla species have fought before.
Right. Well, this is why I want you to go into detail. Right.
Right.
In the past, right?
Right.
Godzilla always battled King Ghidorah, right? In according to the cave and the thing, right? And I guess Mothra, right? But King Ghidorah was an alien
Yes.
Titan, was not from Earth, right?
Yes.
But the king of the monsters is always Godzilla, right? So where does it stand with Kong? Now, is it like Kong's previous ancestors what side was he on? Was he against? Okay.
Yes. So the Kong species and the Godzilla species allegedly have like a blood feud
Okay.
in the ancient times. The way I don't know this for sure, but using the context clues from like the graphic novels, which are canon and whatnot, and the stuff that's in the trailer, it would stand to reason that the Godzilla species and the Kong species had a blood feud, had this war, like they say in the trailer. There was a war, right? The Godzilla species most likely won, but both sides lost huge numbers. The remaining Godzilla species, other than Godzilla himself, was wiped out by the Muto Primes.
Okay.
Which are these much more powerful.
So there's a whole bunch of Godzillas, basically.
Yeah, there was. Now there's only
and a whole
Godzilla.
bunch of Kongs.
Yes. There were a whole bunch of Kongs that went to Skull Island and were cut off there by the storm system around Skull Island.
Okay.
All of them were killed by the Skull Crawlers except for Kong.
Okay.
So there's only one Godzilla that we know of
and
one Kong left. Now,
and always one Ghidorah, because it's alien.
There's actually multiple Ghidorahs.
There's multiple Ghidorahs.
There's multiple, but there's only one that's ever come to Earth, and that was Ghidorah.
But the multiple are on the planet, wherever.
They're around space allegedly.
Okay.
So, Kong's axe. Let's go into that.
Yeah.
I know that's a big like thing. So
I don't know if I like that, but okay.
The axe is this, right? In the Hollow Earth, the monarch finds like a temple, allegedly from ancient humans that were around when this war was going on.
Okay.
And that axe is allegedly the handle and the base are a bone, most likely from a past Godzilla.
Right, that's what I heard.
The blade is a spine from a past Godzilla.
Okay.
Okay. Allegedly, either a past Kong made this after it killed a Godzilla, or the humans that worshipped Kong species somehow made this for them.
So the ape is super intelligent to make weapons.
Not really. Apes in modern times do similar things.
Okay.
They actually do things even more advanced where they make things literally out of stone.
Okay.
So this is actually something that this is why I'm not too upset with it, because if
I was upset with it.
If we're gonna say that Kong is not a giant gorilla, he is a giant gorilla-like titan.
Okay.
If we're gonna say that he has intelligence that matches what we know as regular gorillas and primates of today, yes, they use tools. Yes, they make tools.
Right.
So it makes sense to me that a gorilla-like titan of this size would make tools out of the available materials that are proportionate to his size.
Okay.
So we're not getting into anything like magic or like mystical.
Right. I know.
This is a bone from a dead titan and a spine from it, and they just kind of slapped it in there, and there you go.
All right.
It's not really an axe. It's just kind of a thing that they made, and okay.
All
so
right.
the reason that it can block Godzilla's atomic breath in this continuity, in the biology of Godzilla's in the Monsterverse, their radiation stores are stored in their spines. That's also the main point where they absorb radiation.
Correct.
So Godzilla's atomic breath is pure radiation. So the spine naturally attracts it, and that's why Kong can move it around.
Right, but the weapon could be destroyed. Though.
If you overload it, yes.
No, but couldn't you just break it?
Godzilla's spines are almost indestructible.
Okay.
Except the Muto Primes have a vibration that they can use to shatter Godzilla spines. That actually happened to Godzilla in the Aftershock comic. That's why Godzilla's spines look different from 2014 to 2019.
Okay.
Because the Muto Prime shattered all of his dorsal spines, and then they regenerated into what we see in 2019.
Which is a more improved version.
Yes.
All right, so I have a question, because you're saying that the Apex built Mechagodzilla.
Yes.
Huge Mechagodzilla, it was done by humans.
Yes.
When in the original, it was by aliens, correct?
Yes.
And then I guess in other Godzillas, it was, I guess, humans, whatever. So it took them how many years to build Mechagodzilla? Like a few, like
Allegedly, they've been building Mechagodzilla since before Godzilla 2014.
okay. So this has nothing to do with aliens.
Nope.
There's no aliens thing in this movie at all.
The only alien that's in the Monsterverse right now is Ghidorah.
But there's no after credits.
I mean, there may be.
Right.
Who knows? But I can say this for almost a fact. Mechagodzilla has been built by purely humans.
Okay.
And allegedly, it's been built around the skeleton of the dead Godzilla that was in 2014.
Okay.
Very similar to Kiryu from Against Mechagodzilla and Tokyo SOS.
Okay, so I have a question now. The old Godzilla movies in the past, besides Ghidorah, Gigan was an alien also.
Yes, so was Hedorah.
Right. So aren't we probably going to see them eventually? Well, do you think this is it for the Monsterverse or no?
Well, confirmed, it is not it for the Monsterverse because there is a Netflix Kong series being made that is, they said it is in the Monsterverse. It is canon to the movies. So the Monsterverse
but it's animated,
is definitely... Though. Yeah, but that doesn't matter. The Monsterverse is definitely continuing after this.
And there's also the Godzilla singular point.
Yeah, but that's not in the Monsterverse, though. That's
I don't know
totally
what
separate.
that is. It looks weird.
That's a totally separate Japanese.
Okay. But when are we actually? Okay, so now explain to me the deal, because there was stuff on the table, right? Now we're going to talk business with HBO Max and Legendary, right?
Yep.
Netflix originally offered, Legendary $250 million to put it on Netflix.
200 million.
200 million. Okay.
Yep.
And they weren't allowed to do that, right? They weren't allowed to, right. But didn't they go to Warner Brothers, HBO Max, and say, we lost this money, we want this money?
What happened was Netflix offered them that. This is because of COVID. It had nothing to do with the quality of the movie. I just want to make that clear.
Right.
It was because of COVID, right? Warner Brothers blocked that deal. And they have the right to do that because Warner Brothers is in charge of the distribution of this movie. They've been in charge for the distribution for all the Monsterverse movies, as far as I'm aware.
Okay.
So what happened was they blocked that deal, and then a little while later, they made this announcement that their entire 2021 movie slate was going to be hybrid releases, starting with Wonder Woman 84.
Correct.
Legendary got pissed off by this because they put up 75% of the budget for Godzilla vs. Kong, and they were like, whoa, you didn't tell us this beforehand.
Correct.
And if this happens, we're not going to get anything back.
Right.
So Godzilla vs. Kong and Dune were the two movies that were up in contention with this, right?
Right. They had to renegotiate deals with every single movie.
They had, yes. So allegedly what happened was, I believe, late December, early January, Warner Brothers and Legendary came to an agreement for Godzilla vs. Kong. From what I've heard, Warner Brothers paid them in some sort of excess of $250 million.
Now, what was the budget for Godzilla vs. Kong?
Now, allegedly, when the report first came out, they said it was either 170 to 175 million.
Okay, but they didn't. But Legendary never paid the full budget. They paid 75%
of that.
Okay.
Yeah. Allegedly, however, the budget was closer to 200 million. In a second report, that's what they said.
So basically, what's happening is they're giving them the money that they spent for the budget and then some.
Yes.
Right. So technically, it's not a loss at all, right?
Not for Legendary, no.
So they could just take that money and make another freaking Godzilla movie.
I think what they did, because this allegedly happened with Wonder Woman 84, which tanked, which did not do well at all.
Really? I thought it did. I thought it made them money.
They were not, allegedly, they were not happy with the results.
I thought it was like a billion views or something.
It got good views on HBO Max, but that was about it. But here's the caveat to that, though. Allegedly in the deal, they told Patty Jenkins, look, listen, no matter what this does, we're doing Wonder Woman 3 and you're going to do it.
Right, because they don't want it to be a loss. Like they know with the COVID thing, right?
Yeah.
I think that Legendary went to Warner Brothers and said, look, you're going to do two things for us. You're going to pay us this $250 million plus,
Right.
and you're going to let us do one more Monsterverse movie.
One more?
Yes.
One more, yeah.
So, but here's the thing, though. It's not just Warner Brothers allowing it. Toho had a contract with them, right?
Right. Now,
Which I thought was supposed to be over.
Let me just say this. Right?
Because this is complicated, right?
It is. But, so, yes, the rights to Godzilla were supposed to expire in 2020.
Correct.
Allegedly, that got extended to 2021 because of COVID and Godzilla versus Kong, and they were like, yeah, of course, we're not going to pull it while you got this coming out. Because Toho gets a cut of all these movies, too.
Correct.
That have Godzilla in their property.
Right.
So why would they say no?
Yeah.
Shin Godzilla was funded with the money that they got from Godzilla 2014. So,
Right.
you know. So, here's what I think. Toho is not stupid, number one.
Right.
Number two, Toho almost went out of business last year because of COVID and the hits that they took, right? Number three, I guarantee you, they saw the reaction that the movie trailer got and is still getting from this. The Playmates toys things have been selling like crazy.
Right.
The toy line has been off the shelves like ridiculously, right? If you think for 1 minute that Toho is going to look at this and be like, nah, we're not renewing that deal.
Yeah, they almost went out of business. So if I was them, I'd be like, you know what? You want 5 movies?
Yeah. I honestly think that Toho is going to be like, look, let us put out Godzilla Singular Point.
Right.
And then you can do whatever the hell you want.
Wherever you want, man. Wherever you
now,
want.
Do I think that some of this has to do with how Godzilla versus Kong is received? Yes.
Well,
however,
how could you tell though on a streaming service how well it really will do?
They're gonna look at the subscriber count, the views, and what it makes at some of the theaters that are open. Now, from what I've heard, and this does not have anything to do with who wins in the movie, but from what I've heard, in the contract that they first signed, they had this thing that said you can do what you want with Godzilla, just don't make him look bad. That's all they said, right?
That's it.
I have heard, win or lose for Godzilla, that Toho is very pleased with how Godzilla versus Kong goes.
Okay.
They know the whole movie.
Okay.
They know how it ends. They know what the plan is. Allegedly, they're very happy. They've been very happy with the Monsterverse since 2014.
Right.
So I don't think
handled the Dark Universe.
Right. I don't think that Toho is gonna look at this and be like, oh no, you're done. Like you got your
So we'll probably see more movies
that's
in
it.
the future.
Okay.
I also think that
at least 2 more after this one.
I think it's only going to be one because I think I know where they're going with this. If there's another one,
Destroy All Monsters.
I think it's going to be Destroy All Monsters because my main reason is this. As much as I like Gigan and as much as I like Biollante, they're not enough to carry movies.
I don't
for
really
Godzilla.
like Biollante, but okay.
There's only one monster that they have left.
Destroyer?
From Godzilla. Yes.
I mean, they're not going to make Biollante into like Space Godzilla. They're not going to do that.
Nope.
Yeah.
They want to try to keep it based in reality.
They've set Destroyer up. They use the Oxygen Destroyer in King of the Monsters, right?
Okay.
If you use Destroyer and Destroy All Monsters, it has that nice marketing thing, Destroyer in Destroy All Monsters.
Right. They can do that, right.
And that's the biggest thing that you can do. They've used everybody else. But the one thing that I have said for a long time that goes under the radar a lot, and it's kind of complicated, so I'll try to make it as simple as possible. There was what we thought was fan art of a leaked poster of Godzilla King of the Monsters before we got anything official for it. It was a picture of Godzilla and Ghidorah fighting each other. It was the very crude design. It was the 2014 Godzilla, a very early design Ghidorah. They were fighting each other, and everybody was like, oh, that's great fan art. That's awesome, right? Then a picture of movie posters came out, and it had that fan art in the poster slot. It had the official Godzilla 2014 poster. It had the official Kong Skull Island poster. And then it had fan posters for King of the Monsters, Godzilla vs. Kong, and then a fifth one that said Destroy All Monsters. So everybody was like, oh, yeah, this is the fan art. That's cool. Cool idea, but we've only got 4 movies confirmed. But it's a nice idea. Fast forward to 2019. King of the Monsters comes out. The official art book called The Art of Godzilla of Godzilla King of the Monsters comes out. And people get the book and they're like, this is great. They're flipping through the book. And on one of the pages, everybody goes, what the hell is that? The fan art from the King of the Monsters quote unquote fan made poster was not fan art. It was official concept art for Godzilla King of the Monsters that leaked online.
Oh.
So everybody was like, wait a minute.
You're doing this.
They're like, wait a minute. If that was real,
Then
and we know we're getting Godzilla versus Kong,
Right.
then what the hell is that Destroy All Monsters poster?
Yeah, when is that coming out? Right.
Right. And then a couple of days ago, when the trailer came out, they updated the Monarch Sciences website. And they put a new synopsis for Godzilla vs. Kong on there.
Mm.
And in the synopsis, it said, this is just the beginning.
Yeah. That's supposed to be connected with the after credits, I think, right?
Allegedly.
Now-
So,
Okay.
another thing that happened, just really quickly, right after the trailer, or I think right after the trailer came out for Godzilla vs. Kong, news leaked online that allegedly Warner Brothers is developing a Monarch series for HBO Max.
Oh.
Then another source came out and said, no, there's definitely a fifth Monsterverse movie, and we know who the villain is.
Wow.
So,
Now,
who knows?
Okay. What about the future of Kong? Are they going to go in, besides doing an animated, are they going to make a sequel to Skull Island? They're going to do like a Kong movie?
They
Like
absolutely could.
Okay, but
It depends on what happens in
who has the
Godzilla
rights
vs.
to
Kong.
that? Toho don't have the rights to Kong, right?
No,
Because it's
so as far as I know, Legendary and Warner Brothers could make like 100 more Kong movies if they wanted.
Okay.
So
Right.
there's really no, I don't think there's any like limits on that.
Now, there was also that announcement recently, which I was laughing, that Cloverfield was actually getting a sequel, and it's not found footage.
Right. It's a direct sequel to the 2008
Correct.
Cloverfield. It's
But
not
not
a
found
Cloverfield
footage.
universe monster thing. It's
Right.
not a found footage movie. It is a direct
Cloverfield,
sequel to
flat
Cloverfield.
out monster movie, right?
Yeah.
And what company's that?
That's Bad Robot with J.J. Abrams
And which was purchased by
by Warner Brothers.
Correct.
They have a working relationship with Warner Brothers now.
Correct.
Yeah.
So technically, we could have a Cloverfield versus Godzilla, technically.
We could. Do I think that's going to happen? Probably
I see more of a
not.
Kong than
Toho would probably reject that.
So I don't think that they would reject it. It's just the problem lies in what happened at the end of the Cloverfield paradox. Because
Right. Well, here's the thing. You and I know that J.J. Abrams lost the rights to do a Twilight Zone thing, and he twisted the whole Cloverfield thing to be like a sort of a Twilight Zone Black Mirror thing. Instead of doing an
Yeah.
actual thing with Cloverfield like he should have, he got weird
Right.
and he got grimy about it. He tried to make it, but then he changed his mind, right? Because he was supposed to have multiple movies with Daisy Ridley and all that, and then he completely says, "I want to do monster movies again." Because didn't he go to Japan? Didn't he go with his kid? And he's like, "Wow, Godzilla's so popular."
He was inspired for the first Cloverfield that he took his son to Japan
Right.
when he was promoting a movie, and he took
I
him to
could
the
do
toy
my
store
own
and saw-
shit.
He
Right.
saw all the Godzilla stuff on the shelf.
Right,
He's
I
like,
could do
"America
my own
should have
shit.
Kong."
Right.
Yeah.
And then he changed it, but now he changed it back.
Yeah.
But they could technically do a crossover.
Hypothetically, they could, but again, the problem is that at the end of the Cloverfield paradox, they established that adult Clovers are 7,000 feet tall.
But that's an alternate universe, right?
That is not that is Clover though.
It is the same universe as Cloverfield.
It's not the same universe, but it's allegedly the same monster.
Okay. All right. Yeah, complicated now. All right,
Yeah,
now
because J.J. Abrams
I'm-
forgot that he killed Clover at the end of Cloverfield.
because he's an idiot, right?
So I mean, yeah,
all right. So here's another thing now. Pacific Rim. What company is that?
that is legendary, and that is getting an anime called Pacific Rim: The Black.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I remember
I'm aware of
I
that.
wasn't certain if that. I heard about that, but I couldn't remember if it fell
I'm aware
through
of
or
that.
not.
Now, what are the odds that that has a crossover?
Absolutely none. They confirmed that they have
don't
no
want-
plans to
They
ever
don't want
do that.
nothing to do with.
So they're trying to
them.
keep it based in
They
reality.
don't like Pacific Rim,
And well, because Pacific Rim Uprising was absolute trash.
but they don't like it. Okay. All right. So here's the thing now. What happened to the world of Godzilla where Godzilla was supposed to have tons of movies in Toho, is it because of COVID that they didn't do shit or what? Like, what happened?
They had to wait till after Godzilla versus Kong to do that, and now that Singular Point is coming out, they're probably going to wait till after that to announce anything.
But they will do more.
I'm hoping so.
So they're
Yeah.
not out of business. They almost went out of business.
They almost went out of business, yeah, but
Wow.
I guess they
A
survived.
lot of
some-
people almost went out of business.
Oh
because of
yeah,
this
yeah.
whole thing.
Oh, absolutely.
All right, so we're definitely going to have, well, okay, I can't say definitely, but pretty much they have the money. They could do another one.
Yeah.
Basically. All right.
Yeah.
Now, I know we have a time limit because me and Scott went to get Zoom put us on time limit because we did multiple casts. All right, so we got 5 minutes left. Chris, tell me, is Godzilla vs. Kong going to be the most successful Monsterverse movie ever? Do you think?
Reception wise, I hope so. Monetarily, no, because of what's happening with COVID.
Right, it's not in theaters. But you
But
think
they expect that.
you think that people will love this more than the other two?
I think that the audience will, but critics will not.
Oh, kids, my critics. All
Yeah,
right.
I think the audience will.
All right.
Allegedly, because that last fight scene between Godzilla and Kong is 5 minutes straight with no cutaways.
That's good.
They'll enjoy it.
So less human dialogue and more battles.
In that scene, yeah.
In the movie in general, though, or no?
No, in that scene.
Okay.
They said that the final fight in Hong Kong, which may or may not be the final fight, is a 5 minute non-cutaway scene.
Okay.
And they said, from people who have seen it, they said that it's the best fight in the Monsterverse and maybe the best thing that happens in movies in 2021.
Wow.
Oh God.
I know we got a lot more to talk about, but we're running out of time here. So I'm probably going to create a new one if you want to do one, Chris. Do you want to do another one?
Sure, yeah, no problem.
All right, just got to give me a few minutes because I have to, use the facilities. But we'll be back. I'm glad we finally got to talk. Did you want to say anything else about Godzilla? We got 3 minutes and 43 seconds.
I really hope that this goes well. From all intents and purposes, it seems like it's going to go well.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm waiting to finally see what a full shot of Mechagodzilla looks like because I think he's going to look pretty cool. I have a general idea of what he looks like.
There's a Funko Pop of him, which
Yeah.
leaked too.
There's another toy leak that came out like a year ago that showed his design, and I think he looks pretty cool.
I can't wait to see. I think it's going to be excellent. I think I'm going to like it better than the other two. I just can't wait. Finally, we're going to have it in March, so I'm happy. After all these years of me predicted that there was going to be one back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Oh, man. Yeah.
That was a long time ago.
You were right on the money, too. Had COVID not happened, you would have been right on the money.
Yes,
but you technically
I know.
called it because it was going to come out in 2020 anyway.
Yeah. So that
I mean-
like when I first started with my channel, besides doing Doc2 videos, I said that there was going to be, King Kong vs. Godzilla 2, and they said the year and everything, and the damn thing ruined the whole release thing, the damn COVID thing. But it still, we consider it happening. So I'm glad that I was right in that aspect. Always been a huge Godzilla fan. Have every friggin' thing there is, of movies and stuff. So again, I'm very, very. I've been waiting for this, just like we waited for Star Wars sequels for a long time too. Very happy about this, and we have to talk about Star Wars also. That's another thing too. All right, give me about a few minutes. We'll be back. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Scott.
Thank you, guys.
Take care. Bye for now.
Team Godzilla!
Yeah.